Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, we've got some very interesting questions to go through today, and I hope it's going to clear up a lot of things for a lot of you. So let us begin. Our first one is from Cam, and her question is, I am a 6-2 sacral generator with 4 defined channels, 1156, 2644, 1858, and 5342. All of these channels are half red and half black, meaning none of my channels are fully conscious. When I look at my personality gates by themselves, it shows no definition, making me a reflector. When I look at my design gates by themselves, I have definition from ajna to throat, 1156, and from spleen to root, 1858. This would make me a mental projector by design. It's actually only when my design and personality gates are combined in my full body graph that I become a generator. So my question is, I am an entrepreneur and always feel like no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to make things go the way I want them to. I find that success eludes me more than it does other generators. I wonder if this is because of the incomplete nature of my channels being half red, half black. I would appreciate any insights you can provide me on the topic. Thank you in advance, Richard. Okay, Cam, so from what I can see, from what you've said to me, one of the biggest issues is going to be the open G center. The open G center has no fixed sense of identity. So the big question is, who am I? And a lot of the open Gs are conditioned to want to become an identity, to want to become a self. And the truth is, you're a chameleon. You become whoever you need to become in the moment. This is the way that you operate. So the first thing is, you've got a 1858. So you've got a very critical awareness. It's a great awareness to have. You've actually got a great chart, so there's nothing wrong with the chart, but you want to break it down and try and find your identity and to come up with answers like you're a reflector or you're a projector, and there's an incompleteness in the chart because of the red and the black. So there is no incompleteness. We are all absolutely unique. And you don't have any fixed psychological anchor to who you are because of the black channels not being there fully. But the truth of the matter is, you are a generator. You are a generator. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's about what can you truly rely on in your own inner authority. And that is the 4253. Because after all, you have the power to be able to start things and finish them. This is a project-based generator. This is about maturing through developing things. It's a great thing to have. It's very powerful. So this means that you are here to make decisions based on your response, not based on who you think you are or you think you should be, but actually what you are. You're a generator. You respond. You make sounds when you respond. You respond all the time. You just got to take notice of it, what you actually respond to. So we get conditioned in the open centers. We really get conditioned in the open centers. And it's a matter of letting that conditioning go. So let go of any ideas of who you think you are and focus instead on the response. And there will be a critical awareness going on all the time that's, beating yourself up, saying, oh, you should have done it. You could have done it. There's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a great chart, like I said. But you've got to respond to something rather than think that's where you should take yourself. There is no fixed direction in this chart. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You respond to something, a genuine, powerful response to start something off based on what has already been succeeded. The 53 is best when it's building on something where it's already seen success. And then you take it to another level. Then you complete that project. And in completing that project, you go on and do another one and another one and another one. This is the way that it's designed. So there are many things in you that are of great value, you know. If you're interested in, and again, I haven't seen the full chart, but just from the gates that you've sent me, I mean, you could be a good teacher, you know. You may even be a good cook, you know, really refined cook. I don't know without seeing the full chart, but there are many things that you can do. It's what you respond to doing, what you want to build in this life. As a generator, you're here to build something and then build on that and then build on that. This is what you're here for. The 44 also indicates that you may be good at being able to manage people in some way. Again, I can't see the lines. So we look at it that way. The costume that you have over you is a 6-2 costume, which means you've got to be called into something. It's got to be, oh, this is for me, you know, self-motivated into that, something that fits your uniqueness, for you to be integrous in what you do, for you indeed to be the role model who is not a hypocrite, the role model who will basically be themselves no matter where they are. This long journey to authenticity is carried in the 6th line. And I don't know your age, you know, if you're in your late 20s, then there will be this wanting to be perfect, you know, and then you've got the channel of insatiability that wants everything to be right, you know. So you're probably giving yourself a very hard time unnecessarily. You're possibly trying to go for something, the ending of something before getting there. In other words, trying to prove yourself by doing something, you know, really incredible when you haven't even got through the first stage. So building to see what it is that you really enjoy, what is really satisfying to you, what is satisfying and what is frustrating, without comparing yourself to other people. You have to come back to the response. That's my advice to you. And forget everything about identity. Forget everything about what you criticize yourself about. There's nothing to criticize in this. It's an amazing chart. I mean, I could go on, but this isn't the reading, but there are many things in there that are of high value. And you need to feel good about yourself, you know? You do need to be proud of who you are rather than criticizing yourself. It's built into the 26. So when, for example, if you were going to take the entrepreneurial side, and yes, the 2644 is an entrepreneurial channel, but it's not just that. But if you did go into that, well, what is it that you would feel happy to give out to other people? Is it information? Is it a product? You know, I don't know your cross, so it's difficult for me to say. All I can say to you is that if you come back to realizing, okay, I'm going to give Human Designer a good chance. I understand this, that, and the other about it, but fundamentally, you're a generator. So fundamentally, it is in the response that you make your decisions. And you're also going to be getting some feedback from the body in the right decision. There will be tingles. There'll be energy running through the body as it's the thing. You know, you'll be super alert in that. This is it. So until that time, you just give yourself a break and see what it is that really comes to you. See what it is that really sparks you. Something for you. Something that's really you want to do, you know, something that really fills you with energy. You'll be responding throughout the day. Watch yourself respond throughout the day. See what it is where you spend most of your time. See what really interests you. You've got an incredible mind. You know, you could be a great storyteller, you know, all kinds of things. Just see where you're putting your energy now. And is there something that could be then taken out into the commercial world? All right, better stop there. Hope that's been helpful. Thank you for the question. Our next question is from Anna about time of birth. Hi, Richard. I have a question about premature births. I have read that the calculations are still the same. But it takes a certain number of days starting from conception for the design to fully develop, and it is complete only when the sun is 88 degrees from the expected due date. Would it not be inaccurate then to calculate design back from the birthday? Is there a software that can calculate design based on the day of conception instead? Thanks so much for all your amazing content. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Now, this is a question that was asked to Ra many, many, many times. And yes, this is what he said. You know, when you're born, the point is the time you emerge. This is when the patterns come in. The point of birth is the key thing. Is it inaccurate to say, well, look, they're premature? Like, I'm premature. I was a twin. Well, I am a twin. I was 2 months premature. I still have some memory of being in the womb, and I have some memory of being in the incubator that they put me in for 2 months or whatever it was. And as you can see, I've fully developed. So I can only repeat what Ra said. I can't give you any, I mean, at a logical, from a logical point of view, I hear what you're saying, but I also am here to be in tune with what Ra said, and he didn't say any more about that. So that's all I can tell you. That's not a very satisfying answer, but it's the only one I can come up with at the moment. Regarding the software, I know of no software that can do what you want. I've never heard of such a thing, but you know, maybe it's out there. All right. Thank you for the question. The next question is on the open ego, and this is from AB. Hi, Richard. My ego is the only undefined center I have. Self-worth is my most difficult problem. I also get way too stuck in my head and do nothing. I struggle to know what to sell something for, and making money is very difficult for me. I often feel like I am seeking others to tell me what I'm worth. You know, this is a great question, and it's a dilemma that 65% of people in the world have to deal with. You know, what are they worth? And yes, it gets in the way. I've seen it destroy many, many, many lives. The open will wants to be super, you know, the open will wants to be a superhero, you know, want to do something and be the whatever. And the truth is, you don't have the willpower, and it's not your job. And yes, you can't really know how to price yourself. Yep. So you need to ask a fixed will what your service or what your product, what they think it's really worth in a financial measurement. And they'll be able to tell you, most of them. So that's what I do. In terms of struggling for self-worth, you've got to find something that's really worthwhile for you. You've got to find something that's worthwhile for you, and then other people appreciate it. So it's, from the way I look at it, it's really a matter to see where your energy is going. Now, I don't know what type you are, so I have very little information apart from just the open will to what your chart is. All I would say is, you know, that the open ego gives us a lower self-esteem. Don't dwell there. If you're spending a lot of time not doing anything, it's because you're dreaming of the incredible things you really want to do, or you feel you should be able to do. You say that making money is very difficult for you. Well, again, without knowing your type, I can't say, but I would be looking around to see who is making money and how you can be of service to them. They will then pay you for helping to guide them. You know, it's money comes as a byproduct of service. Money comes in the flow that it comes because of the value that is seen by the people who will actually purchase it. So something that is seen to be of great value, that's what people pay money for. So rather than think I am worthless, I'm not worth anything, what is in you that can create, that you love to do, that you love to be involved in, that would be appealing to others? What have you already been appreciated for in your life? the materialization of our design and being in the world is something obviously that third lines are better at. So again, do you have any third line friends? I would encourage discussion between you and your friends, you know, and wait to see if there's something that comes from you from that discussion. You know, don't spend too much time alone brooding and not doing anything. Movement is life. Movement is life. You know, just by moving, you break the pattern and the life begins to come back. So that's the other thing I would say. You got to move. And if you don't know what to do and you don't know which direction to go to, you know, get some interaction going between you and others and look and see what it is that moves you. Again, I don't know if you're emotional or a generator. So that's really all I can say. Yes, it is an issue. Yes, it destroys lives to have an open will. You know, you can just be on the minimum wage forever, you know, or let the state take care of you or things like that. You know, you've got to turn the life upward. You know, you've got to move with the life, your life. Don't let your ideas of your worth get in the way. Move. Okay, thank you for that question. Here's a good one relating to Chat GPT. This is from Julie. I'm a generator, so I know I need to respond. I want to write a book from my experiences. Is it valid for me to set up a system where I am responding to an outside source? For instance, asking another person or even Chat GPT to ask me questions and give me prompts to guide my writing. I guess my question is really about, is a system I set up designed to give me things to respond to as valid as what I would naturally respond to out in the wild? That's a great phrase. Okay, out in the wild, out in the wild. You are already responding. You know, generators respond. That's what we do. You know, we're here to get out of the way of ourselves and just follow that energy. You know, moving more into a witness rather than someone who's controlling everything, because that doesn't work. So the mind will come in and say, I can be useful. And it will try to set up a system, which means you're going to be focused on that system, you know, and you're going to be connected to Chat GPT, you know, in terms of which way you should go. This is in a way giving outer authority to something that is not your inner authority. I mean, I would always say out in the wild is far better. This doesn't mean that when you're interacting with GPT and something comes up and you go, oh, that's interesting, you know, and it puts you down a whole rabbit hole, which could be very profitable to you. It could be very good to you. But to set it up as a system, and that's where you put all your waiting to respond energy. No, have both if you want. Have both. Run the experiment and see where it takes you. But to have it just as that, no. I mean, you never know. We live in a world that is, you know, deeply mysterious, quite frankly. You don't know what you're going to meet out there that could change everything. You don't know a conversation you're going to have and suddenly you realize something you never realized before. You know, it's when there is this powerful movement of energy in you, that's what you follow. So, and often it's in interaction with other auras or with the natural world. You know, when it's you out there, you know, when you're dealing with Chat GPT, you can be very much inside your own mind with it. And I haven't played with it much myself, but I don't know. I'm skeptical about many things about it. So yeah, I would say out in the wild, and why not try this as well? But don't get locked into it. That's my advice. Good question. Thank you. Now, our final question from Jen created quite a dialogue in the chat, and it's an important question. I am a 3-5 generator with an undefined throat, so definitely not meant to initiate. I am very aware that I am living in the wrong environment, but how do we get out of that without initiating? Every time in the past that I've tried to relocate, it's always made things worse. But where I am living now, I'm watching my health decline at an alarming rate. Am I just meant to wait? Am I stuck living in misery? Place is supposed to be so important for so many of us. So is there anything we can do? Or are we just supposed to wait until life brings the changes to us? Being stuck in this middle space can be maddening at times and makes me feel I'm doing human design wrong. So this is a really important issue, and I really thank you for asking this question. The undefined throat is there to scan, to measure manifestation, to measure what has been said or not said, what has been done or not done. It isn't there to turn us into victims. You know, we are not slaves and we are not victims. You know, we have our own authority. And as a 3-5 generator, you're very lucky. You know, you do have a life force that will respond positively or negatively to whatever's coming towards you. You are obviously, if your health is declining, and it will do if you're not in the right environment, you need to get the hell out of there. You know, if the life is dwindling, this is, I mean, I come from I've got integration under pressure. So get the hell out of there is what I would say, one way or the other. It is very important. It's like, you know, taking a sunflower and putting it in the mushroom shed. It's not going to do well, you know, and the life force will get less. So I don't know what your environment is. I don't know your chart, but yes, it is very important. And you've got the energy to do it. Like this is about garnering your energy and going, okay, I got to get the hell out of here, you know, one way or another. Yeah, it's important. And you've already responded to the fact that it's in your way by writing this question. So it's one thing, what can I do? I can't initiate. You know, it's about your energy lifting you out of there. You may not know how to get out of it. You may not know the pathway that will take you out of it. But if you focused your energy on this one thing, the forces will come in and there will be a way. It's not to get locked into it and going around in a spiral. Whenever the life force is going down, it gets locked into seeing everything in a very negative way. And it's about allowing that, you know, allowing yourself to realize that you are a free being. You're here to be free, damn it, you know, and you got locked into a prison. So it's not about giving reasons about I can't initiate. Get yourself the hell out of there, one way or the other. That's what I would say. However, when we come to the projectors and the open throat projectors, it's a different aura. It's an aura that goes outward in a focused, penetrating and absorbing way to the other. So for the projectors, your life will depend on who is around you, who is around you. So I would be looking at who is around me. If you're feeling like, you know, you've got to get something done, you know, they're the doers. The generators are the doers. So who are the generators around you? It's not for you to initiate, but it is for you to guide. You know, to be a really clever projector is to be able to see the energy around you and what it is capable of, and to guide it in the direction that is appropriate for those generators. So they're satisfied, you're picking up good vibes as a result, and you're moving forward. You've got to, you know, ride the right generators. And if life isn't going the way that you want it, then, you know, be open to connect with other generators. The other thing I would say about being an open throat projector is you're also here to tap into the quality of the life force around you. You know, so your perceptive abilities into the other is in a way for you to connect to the right other. Your discernment into the quality of the life force. You know, projectors can really benefit generators because they can show them where the life is. Whoever you've got around you, you know, those ones that are listening to you, let that give you confidence in your abilities. You know, every time that your guidance is listened to, learn from how you did it and how you got through. Who is listening to you, who is not listening to you. If you're trying to guide people that aren't listening to you, it's not going to work. Now, it can start with just one person who will listen to you, and then it can lead into others until all kinds of things can happen. So that's what I'd say for projectors. Really focus on who is around you, who can do the things, who can make something happen, and keep at it. If you try to turn yourself into a manifester or a generator, you're going to get exhausted. You know you are. So it's not about that. And more specifically for all of you, I would be looking at what it is in the gates in the open throat. We know it's an open throat. I don't know any gates in it. So, you know, I can't say anything concrete on that, but I would ask you to look, because that will give you the meaning you need in terms of what you can attract attention to out there, because that's what you're designed to catch hold of. Let that be a useful piece of homework. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again next week with something completely different. Bye for now.